I want to ask you, you're from Compton,
Yeah.
right? You've got Quick from Compton, Kendrick from Compton, Dre from Compton,
Yeah.
Game from Compton. Where does Compton rank in all-time greatest rap cities?
Number one.
Look at
One.
you. Look at him.
Number one. I have to say this. I have to mean this, but I have the stats. It definitely started in the East. But controversy-wise, sales-wise, and just the overall freedom was NWA. They broke the mold. They had the president talking about it. This is what put hip-hop in front of everybody, that moment. So you got to give it to the NWA tree. You have to.
And then if you even take it one step further, it's what that birth. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
we're sitting here because of Eminem, because of Dre. You know what I mean? Like
that tree. And please, West Coast artists, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna give y'all some hints. Do not go against the tree. Don't speak against the tree. This is something that is really serious out here. Like, the tree still discusses who's saying what. If you think they don't, I'm from the tree. My first check was from Snoop Dogg. Ever. In music, ever. Gave me my first bit of money.
Word up.
Yeah, my first situation was it was with the dog. So once you in that, you got to respect that. Because he spawned from Dre.
So Compton over Atlanta. Over New York City.
By far. Impact alone. I mean.
Are you talking about per capita? Or just
the biggest selling album this year came from who?
Compton.
Well, then what the fuck are we talking about then? Well, that's talking about this year. So I took you to 1985, and we're talking about 2017.
Word up.
Yeah, it's a lot of impact come from that city.
Y'all had some dry years, though, too.
Definitely. Who doesn't?
It was some droughts.
Well, definitely. I mean, everybody,
droughts.
man, hot and cold is a part of music, a part of business. That's what everything. But the maintaining, got it.
I haven't thought about that, like what the hottest city was.
You said hottest? That's something else. That's not what we're talking about.
Where's all-time greatest?
You talking about all-time greatest. Hottest right now is by far Atlanta, New York.
They've been hot for a while.
New York sneaking in, too.
But Compton itself, I mean, even away from just L.A., right? I'm not even sure what the square miles is on Compton, but it's probably like Brownsville. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's impactful. It's just small, though.
Right.
Yeah.
But the game change in music, the influence that they've had, the level from production to MCs to rhyming.
We right up there. No disrespect to nobody else. I just if we put the stats up.
And when he says a tree, he gets to start claiming Long Beach.
You get to claim it all when you go with the
Detroit,
tree, man.
You go to Detroit with the tree.
You know how many people didn't know that?
That's a real tricky argument you just dropped.
It's
on
the
me.
real one.
I
Do you know how many people didn't know that Dr. Dre was nothing? They thought he was the guy that made the headphones until they saw the movie. You know how many
Some people
kids,
didn't know that shit?
Man, you know how many kids was like, wait a minute, that's the Are You There Yet man from Friday. How is he the beginning of the gangster rap? Talking about Ice Cube.
So much information, we still don't know nothing.
Man, it's crazy.
Crazy. All right, so what's after Compton in your eyes?
You got to go to – I always go for who kicked it off, man. You got to go to New York. New York was the reason we're doing music. The South.
You got
Houston?
I can't, man. That's tough because Houston – is very influential. When we say the South, I think Outkast.
That's Atlanta.
Exactly. Like the fourth was the one that made us go look and listen. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Ghetto
over
Boys.
Luke, over Miami.
Can't do that. Nope. Them two.
What about the Bay?
South is so long. You know what I'm saying?
That's why you got to look at a seat. If we go regions,
so
it's a different conversation.
Who do you think?
I think you got to go Atlanta. Like no disrespect to Luke and Miami,
man,
but Atlanta had a whole
I'm gonna tell you this.
wave Miami just didn't have in the same way.
New Orleans, though, to have Cash Money and No Limit be as successful as it was, it's pretty. Baby is still cashing checks right now.
So are they 2 or are they 3? Is New Orleans ahead of Atlanta?
No, you can't do that.
No,
you can't do that. No, Atlanta's right.
Is New Orleans ahead of Miami?
You guys are forgetting about You guys are forgetting about the Bay too.
No, I'm not forgetting about the Bay, but the Bay right now is at where it's like this commercially wise. Now as fans, 40 been killing it. Too Short. Been killing it, and you can
Mac Dre, rest in peace.
You can go to Mac. You can go to like
I think
every level.
I think what the Bay did.
But I count that as us though. I count that as California.
Yeah,
I don't have that bridge up.
That Bay really showed cats how to go get it on their own.
They showed No Limit how to go get it.
Yeah.
They showed me how to get it. Like E40 is more so responsible for me. I am suing YG's career with the Function record than he gets credit for. He threw 3 artists on his record that's not signed to him. He doesn't make any money off of. and took us on TV, put us on 106 in Park.
Well,
888-742-3345. I want to hear y'all opinion on this one too, because I'm kind of curious on this. I don't feel smart enough to even throw anything at it right now.
We're forgetting Chicago, right? They've got Kanye West.
We can go do or die. We can go Twister. We can take it back a little bit.
Common,
Twister. The whole drill scene.
Chance.
Chief
Keef was a legend for sure.
Chicago might have that. Might have that number 4 spot.
We might
I
have
don't
to.
think so.
You know what I think we have to do?
I think Bay is. I put Bay ahead of Chicago.
I think we're gonna have to like get a board. We have to get a board and just have it. We're gonna have a little the tournament, and then we just pick and we let them go against.
I'd love to hear what the callers think on this. This is really.
It's gonna be a real regional discussion.
Rank that region.
Somebody gonna be like, "Well, what about Milwaukee?" We're gonna be like, oh, "Come on, wait. That's not the choice.
My project.
That's not the choice. That's not the choice here. We gotta give like a multiple choice and then say, is it New York? Is it California? Right. Is it Atlanta? And then is it
Houston? Man,
we gotta make sure.
And like, cats like Houston. It's arguable that Houston was doing the gangster shit before NWA.
Yeah.
Like that's another argument.
Right.
They didn't crack nationally and get the national exposure, but them motherfuckers, they was doing that shit.
Yeah.
Rap-A-Lot's older than NWA.
Right.
This
is a good discussion because we got with Atlanta, man. You can't leave out Sosa there.
Right.
You cannot leave that out. You just can't.
You may want to, but you cannot.
You cannot, man.
Do
that boy JD was killing, man. He was dropping them crisscross. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Brad. It was like.
And then you got Pac, was in like 8 different regions.
Pac kind of assisted everybody. Pac was like KD. Pac was like, okay, all right, let me see what's going on over here. All right, well, let's light this up, babe. All right, well, LA, let's get to it. Let's go win some championships.
Pac was a LeBron of rap.
He was definitely, that's what he was, for sure.
He jumped all over the place. Let's go to Clay in Portland. He's co-signing you. Go ahead, Clay.
Yeah, what's happening?
What's happening with it, bro?
Bro, man, you big up here, man. I got cats up here knocking you, man.
Appreciate
and I just
kind of
wanted to weigh in. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you. Compton is hands down the most influential city.
Let's ding up one for Compton. Let's ding up one.
Sports as well.
That don't count because he said wide. He was
that still counts. What do you mean?
He's already wide. He was like.
So if he'd have said hyena's great, then
Yep.
what do you mean?
I'd have been like, yeah, that's we're gonna count
Genius.
that one. Yes, yeah.
Brilliant caller.
Good. That counts for 2 votes. All right, so 1 for Compton. All right, let's go. Let's go to Jay Bird in Maryland. Go ahead, Jay Bird.
Yeah, you got to go with Houston, man. You got to go with Rap-A-Lot. They started things down there.
Give it to me. Give me the stats. Give me some stats. Let me hear it.
You
got to back that up.
You got to go with Bushwick, Willie D. Jay Prince. Everything they were doing down there. They
Scarface.
even had
Ghetto
little
Boys
offshoot.
Gangsta Nip, Convicts, Big Mike.
Yeah.
Swisher. Swisher House.
A lot of those cats, and here's the deal: like what they might not have contributed to on a national level, where Billboard was recognizing them, they fucking lit that fire under the South's ass in a way.
And we cannot forget DJ Screw.
And
we can't.
Who ain't doing screw music?
Right.
And that was another. That
was a good one.
That's another point. Like,
that was a good one.
New Yorkers sound like they from Texas and Memphis right now.
It's getting crazy in here.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
It's getting crazy in here, guys. New York, I gotta have somebody call up. It's getting crazy in here, okay?
yeah, we totally left Memphis out the whole fucking scene.
I just feel like Houston had that big explosion with the Swish House thing. So that's like kind of like when you gotta count it. That's where it gets tricky. Like when the Paul Wall, Little Flip, like that whole thing came, it was like woof.
You got Swisher, you got Screw, you got Ghetto Boys Rap-A-Lot, which arguably created
Scarface might be one of the top 5
gangsta,
artists
and
ever.
then Scarface, arguably the GOAT.
He's got to be top 5. One of the
Houston's up there.
Right.
To me, I got Pac and Face.
Houston might be number 3.
Come on now.
Houston might be number 3.
Okay, we got 1 for Houston.
All right, let's go. There's a bunch more for Compton.
I mean, yeah.
Jay in Georgia.
Hey, what's good, everybody? Hey, I don't completely agree with Compton being the most influential, because if you got to stop and think about it for a second, most of the firsts that were done in hip hop happened in New York, so they set the tone for everybody in the industry. All they did was take it another step, and they took it even further. I just have to give it to the ones that started it off. Because if you want to talk about influence, they wouldn't be able to do half the stuff they were doing if it wasn't for those forefathers doing what they did first.
I definitely
that they did.
I definitely can hear what you're saying. I definitely can believe that. But I Need Love was New York rap.
That was
I'm just telling. I'm gonna give it to y'all
slow
straight.
song. That was the first rap slow song.
I'm gonna tell you. I said that we brought an aggression, an attitude, and a freedom to rap that just wasn't there.
G-rap was
People
there.
wasn't. I'm talking about saying fuck. Okay, I'm talking about
Ghetto Boys had that already.
I'm talking about, and it worked though.
Too Short, Bay Area.
That's just good marketing.
Talking about worked.
Let's talk about you. Just
we're talking about and it worked though. These 16, 17-year-old kids took it across the world.
From the West Coast from the 80s that was influenced by Schoolie D, and they predate a lot of people that came out in the West Coast.
There you
totally,
go.
but you know, listen, we all know how this works, though.
Was to be in the father of gangster rap. So
you're right.
We want to go down that discussion.
I think it's more so this. I think my argument is this. It's like this. When you have the one kid that probably had these new shoes over here, right? But he decided not to wear them until like 2 months later. But it's this one kid that wore him that day, and everybody saw him, so he's the one with him first. That's kind of how this has to go. It has to go that way because if there was no cursing in rap music, the parental advisory sticker, I'm talking about on a larger scale. You gotta listen to me.
This man is a Compton man.
I'm trying to tell y'all something,
Compton
man.
arguing for Compton.
And you gotta understand, we're talking about independently done by Easy-E, one guy.
It sounds like you're talking about Uncle Luke, though, man. You starting to really sound like
listen,
Uncle Luke.
I'm rolling with Uncle Luke in this argument. Like it's not set in stone. I'm just giving you my opinion.
A Compton guy's opinion. On Compton being the best.
Me growing up during that time, remember when all this stuff came out? You know, they still had censorship back then. It literally took 2 Live Crew jumping up doing what they did for that all that stuff to go away.
What year was that? That was 89, right? 89, 90. The 2 Live.
I was like in 4th or 5th grade.
What was that?
Yeah, like 87, 88, some shit like that.
After NWA. That's crazy. All right, let's go.
Well, no,
that's
crazy. No. They started in 85 though. Like 2 Live Crew.
But I'm talking about when it hit.
I
started. Okay, let's do this. I started rapping in 2000,
it was
but that didn't mean I was able to
before
come
Force
sitting
Fight,
here.
all that stuff off.
But with 2 Live Crew specifically, that case went on for like 3 years.
Right.
So they were getting hit with it pretty early.
Yeah.
And they became, now, there's other things at play, because now if we get into where things started like that, Uncle Luke had his own distribution.
Totally.
So he was taking money out of people's pocket. But even away from, just that fact, if we got to take everything back to where it starts, it kind of sounds like New York.
I said that, though.
Like,
I said it started in New York. I said
whether we
that
talk
at the
about
beginning.
curse words or not, we still talk about rapping.
We're talking about rapping, but we're talking about when it started making sense. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Everything made sense. Yeah, we were speaking for the youth in a way that had never been heard before. Like that has to mean something. Has to.
You also just happened to fucking hit at the right time. You're on TV.
Oh, that's everything.
You're on TV raps and shit like that. But it didn't mean you did it first.
I didn't say it was first. Y'all keep saying this F word. I never said first. Let's rewind the tape. I said New York, the Bronx.
Yes.
Started it.
Yes.
But NWA made it a thing to do, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. They gave the blueprint on how to go really do it in a young person's way. Like, Luke, for sure. I'm not taking that. What? Look what he did.
I feel like you're just ignoring Ghetto Boys.
I feel like I'm running my campaign for my city, and I'm doing a great fucking job.
You are doing a good job.
You are.
And that's what I'm saying.
Because, I mean, look, keep in mind, we started this conversation talking about when's hip-hop going to care about old people, right? So everybody who was doing it was young.
Right.
Like, everybody was a kid. Everybody was dancing.
Everybody was.
Nobody had music class, so everybody had to go plug in some speakers outside.
So, if I ask you, well, let's do this. Most impactful then.
Per capita?
Is that a different thing?
I think you can give them per capita. Might be.
I think per
capita.
If you want to go per
Compton.
capita, I'm not going to argue with you over motherfucking Compton. Per capita,
I'm going to give you some real shit. I don't even know what per capita means.
That means per person.
Per person.
Oh, no, you can't do that. Don't diminish.
Yeah,
that
per capita, you guys really did a great job.
FBI sent
Congratulations,
them a note, man. Like, what are we talking about, dog? This is okay, man. You know what? This argument is strictly opinion based, so there's no wrong or right answer. But if we line these stats up, That's when we can tell.
I
this
definitely
story.
think Compton is top 5.
Let's line the stats up.
Maybe top 4. I've
I
got it way
wouldn't-
ahead
yo,
of the
dude,
bet.
like I'm not upset with you saying that. I'm just.
I want to hear counter though. I want to get.
We just gave you counters and then you dismissed them because they're not
They're not beating mine. Is what I'm saying.
no, they are beating
They're
yours.
not
though.
beating the NWA tree.
NWA wasn't the first.
The tree alone is smacking everybody.
But NWA
around.
wasn't the first at none of this shit. They just happened
at the
to
right
have
time.
good marketing.
Nah.
LA,
Yes.
LA has more cameras than everybody else in it.
Yes.
This is crazy.
So anything that blows up in LA.
And their
makes
name was
sense.
Mad Catchy.
Right.
You can't.
Schoolie D was a great name. What are we talking about? That was a great name.
Yo, NWA had half the population shook. Like, what are we supposed to say here, right? I don't know if we're allowed to say the name of this.
Let's go to
what I'm
Miami.
talking about?
Pat Miami, go ahead.
Yo, I would say Compton because if you look at NWA and then you look at Banc Of America that did spin off that whole NWA tree. I mean, them alone in the mid.
That's a lot of fruit falling off that tree, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fruit.
Yo, look,
falling off that tree, man.
Yeah, but like, yo, you get to eat. You're eating off of a whole other region.
Man, that's business, man. What do you mean? That's how
you're
business
eating
works.
off of other regions.
If Dr. Dre
Yeah.
and Eazy-E and Ice Cube are the reason these people exist, how can I not eat off of that tree? That's the tree. It's part of the package.
You're assuming that Bone wouldn't have got on without them.
I'm not assuming anything. I'm going by what I saw. It
All right.
happened through Easy. I don't know the backstory. I just know Easy did it. Come on now.
It's true.
We're not there to trace. I can't go find
But-
Busy Bone. Like, what made you go there that day? Was it somebody that drove you? I can't do any of that.
And Bone definitely had an album before they linked
We
up with
know.
Easy. And
It
the
was
album did
yellow.
not
It was
sound
terrible. I had
it
it.
did not sound anything
Had
like creeping on
had
the
to put
come
that
up.
Compton in there, man. I had to do that thing, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate your call. Let's put up another one for Compton, please. Selfish
Tehran.
out, 11-3, man. Friday, selfish out.
Yeah, buy it because Compton's the only reason why this rap exists. As a thank you to Compton for inventing rap music. Thank you, buy Selfish, buy Problem. Let's go to Tehran in Houston.
Yeah, what's going on, Houston?
I'm getting
I'm going for Houston, man. That's you forgetting the Ghetto Boys. You got Big Mike, DJ Screw, UGK, and you can't count us out.
Never gonna count y'all out.
Is
That's not
UGK
I just got a
Port
text-
Arthur?
I just got a text from
Yeah.
DJ
Yeah,
EQ.
Port Arthur. I mean, it ain't in Houston,
This is
but
crazy.
it's surrounding area. It's like about an hour away. It's almost in Louisiana, but they consider themselves a part of
Because
Houston.
we're looking at Compton specifically. We're not even looking at Compton in the LA area.
Yeah.
Man, if
I
I,
think
get
that's
to doing
Houston
that,
a
this
lot.
gonna get crazy.
We
If I
haven't even-
include the whole California thing,
Yeah,
this
we haven't even
conversation gonna
mentioned
get
South
real
Central
deep.
Cartel or
I
anything
can-
like that.
I can go holler sick with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm at the top, man. He 40 in them and
Bro,
doing
that's 6 hours away.
It's still Cali. It's still California.
Bro,
Wait. DJ EQ must be listening. She sent me a text that said Houston, Swisher House, Rap a Lot, Suave House.
Bam.
I'm
Devil
rolling.
Dude.
Ain't Swab House Memphis?
I don't know. See, y'all got to give me that
Yeah,
info.
Swap House is Memphis, but
Yeah.
they signed a deal with Jay Prince.
All right, there you
That's
go.
coming through Houston.
Look, man, I like your argument, but I really do. I
You
thought
trying
that.
to put words in my mouth in my argument. I keep saying first. Y'all keep using this word.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't
that
say
first don't mean shit to me.
Shit.
I mean,
Yeah,
first
dude.
means everything to me.
Exactly.
First means everything to me. But because
I raised my eyebrow and I was like,
there is something to be said for being cutting edge. There is something to be said for that. And I don't want to diminish that. And especially, you also got to look, man, like, yo, Compton is the West Coast. So they are closer to people that make decisions. You're closer to all of the major labels, major publications, and other regions just didn't have that luxury to be. If you're in Atlanta, or if you're in fucking Memphis, or
See,
if
that's
you're
the
in
beauty
Houston.
of today's game now, though. Now that's over. Like, you don't even need that at this point. That's why I feel like the Florida thing that's going on is so crazy right now.
Right.
Them young boys just getting to it. They ain't giving a damn about coming over here, sitting around. Nah, we gonna blow up from out of here. So
Right.
that's the beauty of it. But honestly, that's what the Bronx was doing. That's what Compton was doing. That's what Houston was doing. It's just that impact, man, at the city that still leave, man. We had a movie just come out about this shit.
I mean,
man.
even watching that fucking Dre and Jimmy Iovine shit was just
That's-
kind of crazy, man.
That's
It
insane.
was fucking bananas.
Yeah, man. And the last one was the one for me. Like the number 4.
Yeah.
I probably watched that one
Right.
a bunch of times.
I watched the one with Stevie Nicks because I want to fuck her.
Whoa.
I'll-
That's right, baby.
If there was a time machine, I'd go back and fuck Stevie. and get her pregnant.
What?
And then have a son my age. And we would just hang out.
This is definitely Eminem's network.
Yeah.
Definitely Eminem's. Shout out to M.
Yeah. Go back to 77. Put dick to Stevie.
Oh,
Hey.
right.
I'm like, I'm your brother, Dad.
All right, man.
From Bustos.
Let's get him a
That's what I
time
would do.
machine now.
Fucking A.
And take the book.
Hummingbird,
Take
Hummingbird available now.
Hey,
Hummingbird.
but you know what though, man? Like, you mentioned Wu-Tang, or you mentioned NWA. I think Wu-Tang can give NWA a run for their money for one of the most important groups in hip hop.
Very important tree. Very important tree. Where the fact where Method Man has a TV show today that I just was looking at, and where a lot of them are still working and still doing their thing. I just say the difference is the continuance flow of artists. Like that tree just keeps going. It just keeps going. Like I feel like Rockefeller they can be looked at that if you attach the Rock Nation thing to it. If you want to do that.
Yeah, you got
that's
even from Jay-Z to Kanye to motherfucking
yeah, man, to J. Cole to Rihanna, like the things that we're seeing right now that has to spawn from that. New York, like I'm not taking away from it. It's just it gets tricky with the dimensions.
I mean, look, depends on how you look at sales and things, but a lot came from that Russell Simmons Def Jam tree.
Boy,
Man.
let's not leave that out. And that's the
Def
thing.
Jam
I've been waiting for one of y'all to say that. That hasn't
Def
came
Jam
up
tree
yet.
is like 83.
Man,
you know what I'm
crazy.
saying? Like you don't even get a chance to think about people like Tila Rock. You know what I'm saying? It's a Run DMC,
I mean,
the
you have
Beastie
Fat
Boys, DMX.
You know what I'm saying? Let's even go
You
there,
know what I
man.
mean? Like,
I was waiting for Justin to dick ride motherfucking New York because
I've been waiting for somebody to give me Def Jam, but I wasn't gonna give it to you at all, though.
I feel
like not at all. Y'all wouldn't get it from me.
I feel like everyone knows New York is the number one. Like I just don't feel like it's something that you got to fight because anytime you got the same city got a Def Jam and it's got a Rockefeller and it's got a Bad Boy in it, it's a very difficult conversation. Now, in fact, New York is so number one that you could even take just the boroughs of New York and put them up individually against themselves and other people. Everyone always talks about Brooklyn, for example, the influence it's had on MCing. Everyone from Kweli and Mos Def to Jay-Z. That's an easy one. You can look at Uptown and Harlem right now, A$AP Rocky, everything Bad Boy.
So New York as a whole, not just the Bronx.
As a whole, it's easier. As a whole, it's definitely number one.
That's why I get.
It's
Hey, bro.
absolutely number
Now, that's
one.
where it gets tricky.
I'm willing to separate them off.
That means we can go get the bait in
I
on this
think
conversation.
Queens might give Compton a run for its money.
You can't get them.
If he can use all of the barrels,
Hold
I
up.
gotta go get them.
I'm even breaking them off, though. I'll give you this. You could even take Queens by itself, and it might give Compton a run for its money. You got LL Cool J, 50 Cent, Nas, Mobb Deep, Run DMC. You can play that game for a very Pharoah Monch. You can play that game for a very long time. If you
He
just
hit
kind
you
of
with
want,
Pharoah Monch.
This is getting serious.
he's one of the illest
This
MCs
is getting
ever.
serious that he hit me with Pharoah Monch.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I would still take Compton, bro.
I mean, listen. Very good point, and I've been waiting to hear this point. It's just a lot on it, man. We still carving, man. Like
Right.
Compton is still carving today. Who had the biggest albums this
People
year?
act like
I keep asking who had the
I don't
biggest album this
understand.
year.
People keep
Yeah, but
talking
like,
about
who-
like
I'm just asking, like this year.
Who's had some of the biggest albums ever? Detroit, Eminem. Like
through the NWA tree. That's crazy that you bring that
telling me
up.
that shit.
That's crazy. That's crazy that you bring that up. I've been waiting to hear that one too.
One
he
might
got
even
put
argue-
out by who?
One might even argue that he
He's bona fide. He's actually honorary
resuscitated.
West. He's honorary West Coast. Honorary, honestly. M is really from Compton.
No, he's not.
He's really from Compton. We borrow M from time to time.
Y'all
you know what
claim
I'm
his
saying?
ass and shit. Yeah, you know he's ours.
What you mean, man? But
All right, hold up.
Just like that Bone
There's
Thugs thing.
there's a lot of people that want to say New York. Let's go
a
to
lot of people that want to say New York.
because it kind of goes without saying.
Marquette.
Yo, what's going on, man?
Go ahead, bro.
Man, I've been holding my peace. The dude who just spoke took my comment. I was going to say Def Jam, Cold Chillin'. New York got so many different boroughs, but let me ask y'all an opinion. Would you say New York, you know how the Biggie, the whole East Coast, West Coast thing, right?
Yeah.
If you had to put all the boroughs, like Bronx, Queens, go ahead and throw New Jersey and Philly in there, too, and
Damn.
then take your whole California, who would you think lyrical-wise? Because the guy made a good point, probably. You said you started first.
Who
You
gets
act like
corrupt?
there's been no consistency, though. They was doing it in the 80s, the 90s. You got the Cameron era. You got LL Mob. There was always somebody from New York representing New York. L.A. fell off. The West Coast fell off. To me, once NWA came out, you had your King T, you had your Souls of Mischief, your Ross Cost and stuff. And then, to me, I went to college. That's when Snoop brought it back out. So Snoop gave you all the fame and brought it back. And then, of course, Pac. And now Kendrick. But y'all had a lot of gaps in between there.
Don't leave out. Let's not leave out Game.
We got to give
$5 million off the rest.
Game held it down for
a lot of those artists that you name, we don't know. I'm in North Carolina.
Right.
So, of course, if they weren't mainstream, I don't know who these guys are unless they became mainstream. But to me, I think New York had more mainstream artists and underground artists who made it overall than L.A. And my top 5 is New York, L.A., Atlanta, Houston, and then Chicago.
I'm going to tell you. Okay. Great point. Lyric. Now, when we go to lyric stuff, that's all on who's listening. Like, nobody can say what's best, what's not, because I listen to lyrics for different reasons. Like, some people will argue that Biggie's the best. Some people argue Tupac. Two completely different artists, different sounds, and you have an argument for both. So I'm with you on that. The number of successful acts, for sure, like, by far, it's a bunch of them. It's like a bunch of them. It's just different. Like, it's something about when somebody from here hits, it's like, boom.
I wonder why.
It's not like the boom, 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 boom. New York is the biggest media place in the world. Don't do that. Come on now. I still got to go to New York to do my whole promo album.
Y'all still the second biggest? Biggest.
Yeah, but boy, when we come, man, it's iconic.
When someone comes out of Kansas, no one noticed.
I noticed Tech Nine. Let's not leave, man. I was at it.
It took him 8 years to get noticed.
That's Kansas City's in Missouri.
All right, but I'll give. Look,
I'm rolling with Bro just said. Let's tackle one for New York. Great point.
But like I'm saying,
two for New York.
Five for size of the city. I like Compton for size of the city. Then I'll say Atlanta for size of the city. Like
New York and Atlanta are definitely fighting each other for number 2, for sure.
But look,
for sure, by far, they're having a fist fight right now.
New York is underperforming for size of the city. Y'all are underperforming. Y'all got like 20 million motherfuckers.
People act like ASAP's not one of the biggest artists right now. Like Action
Bronson.
Definitely.
No, he is.
Action Bronson is not one of the biggest.
Shout out to the
right
South,
now,
or else he wouldn't be.
No, this is crazy. See, it's getting deep in here. It's getting deep.
Shout out to the South, or else he wouldn't have a style to run with.
The East Coast.
Shout out to
The East Coast is quietly snuck back in what's going on right now.
Didn't they just cover a Juicy J song?
Year, Fat Joe with the hit, Jay-Z with the album, ASAP. Like, it's a lot going on. You can go even with...
People act like Nicki Minaj ain't from New York, man. People act like French Montana's not from New York.
French. It's I see that.
Y'all played this game for a long time.
Again, we can rewind the interview. I said we're in a real different time.
People act like Wu-Tang did not just sell an album for $1 million. You want to talk about first? Who's the first one to sell $1 million album?
So now we have a who's hot. Now we having a who's hot conversation. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about who's hot. We're talking about who has the biggest impact ever, right?
Hold on, Z in Chicago wants to throw his hat in the ring. Go ahead, Z.
Hey, what's going on, y'all, man?
Go ahead.
Nobody still has messed in Chicago like that, man. But we got so much.
I got 4 MCs.
Twista.
My boy, he definitely.
If it wasn't for Twista, he was the first fastest rapper in the world at one point. If it wasn't for him, he brought that into the game.
He brought
Do or Die, very important group. Do or Die. Let's not forget Do or Die.
They're my shit.
Nobody wanted to bring it up. Nobody was rapping
Common bodied Cube.
He
bodied your guy.
He did. I can't take that. He definitely bodied him. But then Cube ended up putting him in the movie. So who wins?
Common
and his movie. He puts him in his movie. Like the ultimate son goes down from the coast, man. Okay, I'll pay you to come work for me.
Don't forget about Kanye West.
The ultimate son was Jay-Z doing that to Nas. And then not pushing his album that hard either.
I think we got to make sure we give Das Effect some credit for the fast rapping thing. I do feel like there was a lot of diggity raps.
Yeah, we got NY. Y'all got a real one in here
coming out in New York.
Right now,
I just want to make sure I put that on. Twista's great. He's great. I don't know if I'd say nobody was doing it.
You can't hold Twista. I can see you saying Busta Rhymes, but not Das Effect.
They're the ones who were doing it
first. Twista though, I'm talking about Twista.
Well, we're talking about who did it first. You know what I'm saying?
Twista was doing it a long time.
Those guys were doing it. You talking?
But I'm saying that's like early 90s. Like Twista was like 80s, right? Was he in the late 80s? I'm not sure.
He was tongue twisted back in the day. That's how old it was.
I definitely don't think that there was a lot of other places influencing New York. So, I don't want to say that he
New York is the beginning fabric and we all just kind of tore off from that. Is what you're basically saying?
I don't think that needs to be said. That's kind of just to understand it.
I don't know. Y'all may have started the jacket. We just had a way cooler one.
Hey, look, man, a fish in the ocean doesn't know it's in water. You know what I mean?
This is getting crazy.
Man, I don't know what that means.
I don't either. That's why I'm saying it's getting crazy.
But like, look, man, here's some like New York. You got it, hats off to New York all the way up to like 90, 91. But then these other places really started making their own sounds. Like if you listen to even old like down south, old LA shit, it sounds like they're trying to sound like New Yorkers. But then something hit. And they started sounding like themselves, and that's when rap really fucking took off. That's like, to your point, that's an NWA sound. That was if you listen to early Ghetto Boys, they sounded like New York shit, but then they kind of was like, fuck this, let's sound like ourselves. And that's when rap really fucking took off. So yeah, shout out to New York early on, but you guys are
from Outkast on out.
Two of the top.
If you go Outkast on out, Atlanta's been consistent.
Two of the three biggest people in the history of hip hop on a music level and on a business level are from New York. You gave Jay-Z props right now on one of the best albums.
Definitely.
I don't know what Diddy ain't got his hands in.
Right.
I don't understand why this is so close. I'm just happy to enjoy it because I think it's a good debate.
But like, look at Diddy.
The tree.
Everybody
the
that's
tree
touched.
Is why
everybody
it's so
that's
close.
touched
I keep
Diddy,
telling y'all,
something bad has happened.
Oh, this is crazy. the tree is why it's so close. What spawned this beautiful radio station we're sitting in because of the tree, man.
Problem. Do you feel like you've alienated half of the country by
totally? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being alienated for about 5 minutes.
Selfish. The album is out. You should buy it. And see why Compton's number one
this Friday, and learn why Compton will always be number one when you purchase.
All right, let's end with what do you want to hear? Top off or get on it?
I want top off and get on it if I can have my way. But let's go top off first.
We'll just go back to back. Thank you so much, Problem, for coming on here and starting this fucking ridiculous argument that none of us were prepared for. You fucking asshole. I feel like you had it already.
Man, I feel like y'all had this already. Like, let's cook it up. Let's cook it all this Dodger shit going on.
I definitely sent out that flick.
Yeah,
did you?
I definitely was like, Compton's pretty dope. Oh, who's the best? Doesn't that sound like a conversation? Who's the GOAT city?
You gotta watch the alley-oop beat through.
Yeah, Jude's on Xanax. Let's just start a fucking argument. He can't fucking think straight. Not fucking fair. Once again, get Problem's album Selfish.
Friday. Selfish comes out Friday, you guys, and you can pre-order it right now everywhere.
Boom. Get that shit. Pre-order that shit. Show support early.
Diamond Lane, for real.
Let's
Still
go.
independent. Support that. Like, what's up?
Justin Hunt, company man on everything. Let's go. Don't go nowhere, y'all.